Right. I said there wouldn't be a take two, but we're doing a take two because take one was too scary and take one had lots of people watching me. I've walked down some rocks here in Catania, somewhere near Canalicchio, and I'm now here. This is not the Mediterranean, but let's call it for the Mediterranean. I now live in Sicily. In October, I married a beautiful Sicilian woman after meeting each other in 2023. We ended up speaking later that year and getting to know each other, and in the space of 5 months we were engaged. Within the space of a year we were married, and now I live here in Sicily. Now, something that's interesting about Sicily is that people leave this place. Young people, although I'm now 29, I still consider myself to be young, fresh. But what's interesting about this place is that youth leave this beautiful island to achieve their dreams elsewhere, because opportunity does not exist here in every single industry. You know, I'm sure there are many industries. For example, fishing. You go fishing here. It's a beautiful place to fish. It's January right now and the sun is out. But in the film Cinema Paradiso, which is one of Sicily's most famous films, Toto, I think his name's Toto, the main character is a young boy who befriends a projectionist. And this young boy has dreams of something bigger than himself, something he comes to learn throughout the film, but he's being pushed by his mentor, which is this projectionist. And this projectionist never left Sicily. He stayed as a projectionist his whole life because there was no other opportunity. He was not educated in the way that maybe modern children now are educated. And so at the end of the film, he says to our protagonist, we'll call him Toto, but I'm pretty sure that's just the dog in Wizard of Oz. And I'm sure I'll correct this, but the whole point of this is not to be too edited. Anyway, at the end of the film, he grabs him. And when the boy is leaving finally, he's finally been convinced to leave and go to Rome to pursue a career in film. And the projectionist grabs the boy and he says, "Don't give in to nostalgia, forget about us, get out of this place. Get out of this place." And the subtext is, get out of this place because you'll never achieve your dreams here in Sicily. You must leave to achieve your dreams. And, you know, then I'm spoiling the film here a little bit, when the projectionist dies, you know, this young boy, now a man, finds out, and it's been 30 years since he returned to Sicily, and he eventually returns to Sicily after a long career as a famous filmmaker. All this to say, Sicily is a place where people leave to achieve their dreams. Now, I'm a filmmaker, born and raised in London, educated first at the University of Nottingham, but then with a filmmaking master's I went into in London. And then I tried to make it as a filmmaker there after a brief stint in North Macedonia when I was doing some voluntary work. So then from 2022 to 2024, I was in London really trying to make it as a filmmaker, because that's the place they tell you should be making films. And lots of my friends, when I told them I was moving to Sicily, they see it as some of them have seen it maybe as like the end of my film career. But I love my wife. I don't want to be away from her, and my wife is Sicilian, clearly. And she wanted to stay in Sicily. It was important for her to stay in Sicily, to be one of the only youths to stay in Sicily. So I wanted to support that. One of the only youths doing this voluntary work that she does. Of course, there are many youth in Sicily, but doing this specific work, there's not many people doing it. So she wanted to stay, and I wanted that for her. And I didn't really want to bring her to London because, you have someone who's born in London. Sorry, you have someone born in Sicily. Look at this place. It's beautiful. If you really love someone from a place like this, yes, okay, the opportunities are greater in London, but for what? Like, depends what you want to do, right? Now, my wife wants to be an educator, so why should she not educate the children and people of tomorrow in her own country? Whereas I want to do something maybe a little bit more self-centered in wanting to be a filmmaker. So this is why I'm here. I'm now in a place where I have to achieve my dreams here. And what a better place, like, you know, this is a great place to want to achieve your dreams. I live by the sea for the first time in my life. So here I am, standing humbly before this camera, down on these lava rocks, where I was worried I was going to break my camera climbing down. But here I am on this island. I must achieve my dreams, because my dreams will sustain us and sustain us being here. Because this is the career I've chosen. I'm 29 years old. I've had a bit of experience in other stuff, but I have committed to filmmaking, and I've committed to my wife, and I'm committed to filmmaking here in Sicily. I don't want to travel too much. I could be going back and forth between London and trying to find jobs on film sets and doing all that stuff, but really the reality is I want to be a writer, director. And that only comes from making movies. So I'm here and I'm going to try and make some movies. And I'm going to do these videos basically tracking my progress. You know, okay, this is a nice scene, right? This is a nice, you know, we're by the water, and I'll show some other clips of other stuff here that makes it look nice. But the point of these talking videos is not to make some cinematic vlog, you know? It's just to speak and to share what I've been doing and what I plan to do, and, you know, almost like on a 3 times a week, basically, is going to be my goal. And what is it that I'm going to be doing in those 3 days a week that's contributing towards my ultimate goal of filmmaking? But you know, that doesn't always mean doing filmmaking. It also means, you know, making money any way that I can to have the time to do filmmaking. So yeah, so you'll watch me talk about trying to get some videography jobs here, maybe with some fashion production company, trying to do behind the scenes. I don't know, and that's the beauty, because really I don't know. Like I said, and I'll repeat many times, you don't come to Sicily to become a filmmaker. But this is the situation I'm in. So here I am. Today when I go home, I will work on some character bios for a script that I'm writing with some family members. Because I should add that, you know, although I'm committed to being here, I still have a few things going on in England that were opportunities too great to completely abandon. But to be in a position where you're helping to co-write something, I felt was still conducive, because I can do that from here and we live in a modern world. And it also is advancing my film career, and if I can achieve, so this is the thing, maybe I'm contradicting myself, but if I can still achieve things, like the long-term goal is to make it in film here. That's the purpose of all of this. But sometimes in order to make it here, I also have to make sure that I'm doing other things. So by being involved with this writing of this script that's hopefully going to be a TV show that gets sold, you know, that is not something that I see as counterproductive to the goal of making things work here. So today I will be doing some character bios for some characters for our script, because we're working with an executive producer that recommended that we do this. It will help it get sold. It helps each individual character have a more distinct voice in the script, because one of the criticisms was that the characters in this script it doesn't pull off the page so clearly that they're different characters. Their voice is very similar. Yeah, so that's something going to be interesting. So maybe what I'll do is I'll go and do that, and then I'll share how that went, and yeah. But this is the first. 3 times a week, I'll be sharing my reflections and what I'm trying to do. And I will get better at this, I hope. I pray that I get better at this. That's it for now. I don't have anything else to say right now. I'm sure I'll have more to say later. Here we are, doing the character bios, like I said I was doing, and it's proving to be more challenging than I thought, I must say, because I'm having to engage my brain in writing mode. You know, I'm not necessarily writing the script right now, or, you know, this is a script that we're co-writing, but I'm having to come up with character backgrounds, and this is actually something I've never done before. And, you know, it's one thing to write a script and to create the characters as you go along, but it's another thing to really internalize what is their overall journey, like where are we meeting these characters, what's come before. You know, maybe you don't need to know what's going to come, but what's come before, what's influenced who these people are. Right now, I am the character in my own story, and so much has come before this moment that I'm talking to a camera in my flat in Sicily, and my wife is the other side of this wall trying to study for her exams, and I'm pretty sure I know my wife well enough to know that she's eavesdropping and probably thinking I'm really strange, but supportive nonetheless, very supportive. But yeah, here we are. So my approach to doing these character bios was to use ChatGPT, not to write the bios, but just to give me an idea of what sort of things to include. And it says elements of a strong bio are name and basics. Sorry, full name, names, nicknames, personality, background, internal and external conflicts. It's a challenging thing. It's a lot of stuff. And I don't want to overwhelm, because, you know, we're all taking different character bios. We're all doing different things for the script. So it's also, you know, everything that I'm proposing is a proposal, not a definite background. So I'm finding it difficult to know what is the right thing for each character. Now, this is what I'm doing today. And this is one element of the things that I need to try and do for my film career. But when I think about what I need to do here, you know, I'm reflecting on that. It's interesting because, and even since I made that first video this morning, or that first monologue this morning, I had someone message me asking if I'm a cinematographer or a director, because they want to put me forward for someone who's trying to make a short film, which is great. That would be something really great, but that would be in Greece. You know, which is interesting because now I'm not in England anymore. Maybe more opportunities will open up across Southern Europe, which is very exciting. And I can't turn my nose up at anything. Actually, another friend was like, I maybe put you forward to write a mockumentary script for a thing for my gaming company. So weird things have happened since this morning in terms of potential opportunities, but this is the thing, right? This is not the first time that people have put me forward for things or asked me to help them with things, for these things never to come through. And so one thing I'm grateful for, being 29, is that I'm a lot more detached to opportunities coming and going. And yeah, really the aim of all these videos that I'll be making it's to have the discipline to upload 3 times a week and to have things to talk about that I'm doing. You know, if I really want my film career to happen here for me, I have to be putting in a lot of effort to making things happen, and therefore have things to talk about. But really the ultimate goal is always going to be filmmaking. It's going to be, you know, making my own films, end goal, making my own feature films here in Sicily. And whatever else comes with that will be fantastic. If I can pay the bills, if I can support my family, fantastic. So everything I'm doing needs to be centered on that overall goal, I suppose. So yeah. And I'm going to learn a lot about how to make this part of the process interesting, because that's what I'm building something here. I want to build a film career in Sicily, as I've already said. Hope I don't want repeating myself. But I hope I can make this process somewhat interesting and also learn how to reflect on my daily progress towards the ultimate goal. And really, with filmmaking, it's never ending. You know, you always have new goals in filmmaking. So I'm very blessed that this is the sort of, you know, career where the likes of Ridley Scott live until he's 87. live, he's still alive, but making films until he's 87. But what goes into this? You know, also I need to be making sure I'm reading the right books, that I'm watching the right films, that I'm, you know, in my case, praying regularly. It's, you know, writing regularly. All these things, but I have to pay the bills. And so this is a very, very key point in all of this. I have to pay the bills. As much as I want to express myself with my own art, I need to be making myself a career here which is both artistically satisfying and paying the bills. But right now it's actually paying the bills that's a little bit more important. I need a little bit more of the B side of my career going. And how can I do that here? Well, I need to try and harness some of my talents and abilities that I have. Or even just skills. Maybe it's not even talents, just skills I can have at my disposal. Yeah. But I'm going to finish today's video with this. This is a book here called Pause and Reflect, Meditations for Creativity. Now, my wonderful wife, if you're listening, got me this book. And on the back it says, meditation is the key for opening the doors of mysteries. So maybe I'll read the first of these, and I'll read a quote from these meditations every single video. But I'll do that on the balcony. So here we are, end of day 1 of this, and I, you know, just before I filmed the first bit that you saw, I had just dropped my friend off at the airport, and he's been staying here, and now it really begins. You know, now I'm been thinking about this for a while, to make these videos, to trace my progress as I start this new journey. And now it's here, and it's scary. It's a scary thing to affront, if that's a word. It's a scary thing to face, to make these videos because of what it represents. You know, this is, to make these videos whether no one watches it or everyone watches it. The point is that hopefully it's advancing me in my desires to be a filmmaker here. That's what I want. I want to make it here in a place which I said before, everyone leaves. And it's going to take a lot of discipline. You know, for example, I didn't go to the gym this morning. I didn't go to the gym these last days when my friend was here. It's fine. It's perfect. It's, you know, he was here to see me, and I wanted to see him. So it's great. And we spent some time together with my wife and with him, and it was wonderful. It's a really wonderful thing to receive visitors from England to come and see me here and to see me in it. And so I'm very, very grateful for that, and I hope more friends will come, more collaborators will come, people also who work in film and who I've made films with before will come, and we'll make films here, and it'll be really great and exciting. But it is scary, and what these videos represent is that this is the new day for me, a new day, a new era. And I will touch, as we go along, I will touch on my experiences up till now and what have led me here. But for now I want to leave with looking at this book, Pause and Reflect, you know, the importance of the arts. These are quotations that talk about the importance of art, and they're a little bit maybe God-centric, religious-centric, but I hope that anyone can get something out of it. I believe in God, whether someone else does or not is up to them. But I'm going to want to read something from this book, at least for every day, and there's, you know, 1 per page, and there's 100 and, you know, just under 150 pages, so that means there's at least 150 quotes. So 150 episodes of this here series of making it as a filmmaker in Sicily. That surely something will come from this. And if not, I will have learnt something valuable, I'm sure. Yeah. Another interesting thing I was reflecting on just before I stop is I really hope eventually I can assert my genuine personality in this, because when I look back, I don't want to think that I'm not being my authentic self. Food for thought. Here we go. The source of crafts, sciences and arts is the power of reflection. Make ye every effort that out of this ideal mind there may gleam forth such pearls of wisdom and utterance as will promote the well-being and harmony of all the kindreds of the earth. Under all conditions, whether in adversity or at ease, whether honoured or afflicted, this wrong one hath directed all men to show forth love affection, compassion, and harmony. So if the source of all, the source in this case, the source of the arts is reflection, then we should make every effort that from this ideal place that we can get the source, the pearls of wisdom, that everything we can do, right? This power of reflection, the source of the arts is reflection, and from this reflection we can make art that helps bring the well-being and harmony of everyone in the world. It doesn't matter if they're honored or afflicted, we have to show forth love to everyone. And I think that's actually very pressing in the time we live in now, is that, we often think, and even me, we think about art for the sake of us, for ourselves, to express ourselves creatively. But how can we use art to bring forth the betterment of everyone? Because art is such a powerful tool. And I think that is something very, very important. I'm glad I've read that. I'm glad that's what I'm ending this first day on. Because really all of this whole cinematic journey, this filmmaking journey here, is actually how can my art be, a source of, let me read back, like to bring forth the well-being and harmony of everyone. That's not something necessarily I'll achieve all the time, but let this be my lofty goal, right? Let this be my goal. Yes. Okay. More to come. Lots to do.